persons will look to say that I think it's more accepted now. Age difference is more accepted now as 10 years ago. Persons say, you're too young for doing this, old boy, whatever the case may be. I remember when I was in high school, I asked, I was talking to a pastor. And when I say talking to a pastor, I mean I was having a conversation. Yes. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Chickschat, where the chicks chat. And on today's episode, we'll be discussing the topic, does age really matter? Now, we want to hear from your viewers as usual, so please leave your comment down below. Please remember to share and subscribe. Now, ladies, does age really matter? Judith! Age.
No,
Kamara.
it can matter.
Sash. It matters. It matters. Well, to me, it matters. It matters. Sash. Why age no matter?
It matters. Matters. Because if you're too young, you're out the game.
Oh, I was not thinking along the too young line. I was thinking more along the too old line, but
You can't too old. I
Wait.
don't think so. For me.
There's a limit for me
When
for
I say-
sure.
When I say
There's a
old
limit.
though,
Mhm.
like if your body is fit and you're healthy, mentally and emotionally and physically healthy, no problem. I just think, I don't know, that's my, I don't know. I
So-
like old man, I guess.
so
Where old man at?
Old men. I like older guys, more mature men.
That's what she means.
So you're saying that the age is not necessarily a factor once your body and your mind is
right. But
right.
But what I realize that is happening, or what I've seen happen, well, in my case, that is the suitors that I normally get. You know, they are guys. I'm trying to talk in a very moderate tone today because I'm done me every week. Yes. So the suitors that I normally come in
your direction.
right, and it's not, and I mean it's a diverse
Right.
cohort of. But I just think the younger ones, even though they are, academically inclined or intellectually inclined, I just think that sometimes they're lacking in other areas in terms of, some experiences and the work. You understand?
They're lacking in other areas.
Yeah. Not
Or because you're
because
young but your soul old.
that is true. I was just going to say that.
Alright,
I was just going to say that.
I would say no, age does not really matter. For me personally, I like older men.
This lie you're
Birds
I don't
of-
believe that.
birds of a
No.
feather.
I like older men, to be honest, but looking at relationship overall, age should not matter. What matter is your values, your goals, your status, you
Yeah,
as a
that matters
person. You have males that really like younger women. You have younger women that really likes older man. So it is vice versa. It works depending on you. And only more to come.
So am I to understand that my fellow hosts here, they are seeking sugar daddies?
No. Let me tell you.
I have to
I think
ask.
the function of a sugar daddy will not match the function of a male. Well, not say match, but it's different. I think there's a distinct difference between
Yes.
who a sugar daddy is and who your partner.
A perspective
Really
partner.
is, right.
Okay.
And
So,
Kamara, go on. We don't hear it.
well, for me, why I said age can matter is because it depends on the persons who are involved, the shared experiences, the goals, the values of the
That's it.
individuals.
But what about you?
Why
You,
it can.
you?
No, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. It's just a rushing thing. For me, I have a limit. You can't be past 50.
Wait.
Why?
When you're giving the 50, you have to give us
No,
the...
Age difference, so they can't
Yeah,
be 15
Age
years
difference.
older than you
Okay,
or
so
10
they can't
years.
they can't be 15 years older than I am. Why? I am thinking about vitality. Yes, I'm
Very
thinking
important.
about the long term. What's gonna happen when I am in my prime? When I am in my prime, and I don't know.
And them drop bush.
Well, if you put it like that, you know what's gonna happen. I think about
You don't
that.
have it in a place.
This girl here, I think about those things. Mind you, I've always enjoyed relationships with older men because of the level of maturity, the seriousness, the level of conversations we're able to have, the way we're able to set goals together, that sort of thing. But for me, there's going to be a limit because I want to be able to enjoy my relationship after a certain age.
I mean, while I can appreciate your point of argument, I have met older men, even about 50, who are healthy and functioning well. And I believe that
True.
so as we say when Julie was talking about morals and values, if they value health, even though you're getting older and probably your body getting weaker, sometimes it's not really that you are unable to do the job. Sometimes at them times they fire your heart too. And when they see the little pretty miss thing a come,
Listen to me.
Fine.
Me don't say no.
So
I don't say no about that.
the conversation must be had. And in reality, in our society, no. Very often, as I say about the sugar daddy,
It's
when
what's happening.
younger females date older guy, like much older, very often because of status, because the man have money.
True.
And two, a lot of time when much older man dates younger woman, sometimes it is for control, sometimes it is because of their fertility rate too.
That's it.
They're better able to reproduce. So there's a lot of underlying factor that we can look
Can
at.
I say my... Well, for me, age matters. Personally, I don't think that my partner should be more than 8 to 10 years older than I am.
Okay.
That is for
That's
me.
you.
That is for me.
Yeah, we can appreciate
And
that.
I don't think I want to date anybody who is younger than me.
Right.
I prefer for the male to be
No.
older because if I'm the older one, I'm going to think that I'm going to now have to be pulling this person along, carrying this person's weight because I know my level of maturity. And I know that if I get a male, well, I'm married, as you all know. So, speaking, I know that if I find somebody who is younger than I am, I'm going to say, the boy, this boy, immature, so, and I'm going to be looking for certain things. But when I was doing my research, it says that studies have found that partners with more than a 10-year gap in age experience is socially disapproved.
socially.
Right. But when it comes to our own relationship, both men and women prefer someone their own age, but are open to someone 10 to 15 years their junior or senior.
And that's the
Right.
reality. And look at it too. If as a woman you're dating a younger male, there is something that you have to take into consideration. Like you have to think about the man ego.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of time older woman them think say they are in control of the younger male. So
True.
you want to down to
And
him,
that is-
you want to control him. So we can look at grounds at which
That
his
is on the basis. That's only on the basis of the
relationship
number
work.
though, because
Yeah.
I have met younger men. I have to be unbiased. I have met younger men whose minds are mature.
Sure.
Their
Yes.
experiences are varied and diverse. They know how to articulate themselves and put themselves forward, and they would have checked off a lot of the boxes that we have in our mental boxes. But then it just comes back to your preference.
That's
I'm just
it.
saying.
As
And
I
I
have seen
think-
relationship that works well. I've
Right,
seen
right.
10-year gap with the male being younger.
And I've
I've
seen
seen those relationships
Flourish.
that has done well.
Mhm.
They're flourishing. What are your thoughts? Let us know. Comment down below. So share with us.
Tamara was
Precisely.
saying,
Right.
yes.
I was saying, I've seen this conversation is sort of subjective.
It's very.
Because, I've seen relationships workation where the margin between the age range, it's wide, but they work because what? Their goals, their
Right.
personalities, their values are in alignment. So,
Precisely.
so there are persons out there right now who are in relationships where the age gap is like what, 20 and 25, and it's working for them. Mind you, I wouldn't do that. Why? Because my value system, the things that I use to guide my decisions, it's different.
It wouldn't be
so I
aligned.
wouldn't date somebody or be with anybody so with the margin so wide. But if we have a relationship that is compatible, compatibility is key. And we, like I said, these shared experiences and values, and it can work, then it will work.
What I look at too is that, yes, when you're in a relationship and your relationship is guided by societal expectations, then you have a problem.
Yeah, that's it.
Because persons will look to say that I think it's more accepted now. Age difference is more accepted now as 10 years ago. Persons say, you're too young for do it this old boy, whatever the case may be. I remember when I was in high school, I asked I was talking to a pastor. And not when I say talking to a pastor, I mean I was having a conversation. I was talking to a pastor about my friend's relationship.
Right.
But the age gap was 10 years. And what he was saying to me is that with that friend's relationship now, they would have to go through more counseling than if their age gap was 7 years.
And I
Because
can
of the
imagine
generational, the decade,
Right, because then, as you would have
difference.
mentioned, that their values and everything would not be in alignment.
Right.
So he was expressing to me that with cases like those, they would have to go through more detailed counseling and
right.
extensive counseling. It wouldn't just be the regular.
True.
So I mean, no, we are not in the confines because things and times changing,
Definitely.
and we're not necessarily in the confines of societal expectations and societal norms. So persons
Some
are
of
doing
us-
what they some of
are.
us, but and some of us are really
doing
wondering what am I gonna see at church if me carry this a
And
person
just
or
as
what.
societal-
our thoughts are more diverse now as a people because I am seeing a lot of wide age gap in relationship,
relationship.
both for the male being younger, the female being
Yes.
younger.
Because the
so it's happening more. So the norms of society is now changing,
Yeah,
and you have to look at the middle ground. What is it? How compatible are you together?
And the next thing we have to think about is reproduction. Because if I am going to be talking to an older man and I don't have any children, I never had any, we'll have to have the conversation. Can he impregnate me or will I be able to get pregnant? Those are the conversations you have to have if you're going to think of getting together with an older partner.
Look,
if you're gonna think of getting together with anybody at all.
Because the older woman
But
dating
especially
the younger
in this
male,
case, since this is the topic.
Right,
Yes.
the
right.
younger male will want
His
child.
child.
Children,
Right.
most likely will want children.
Well, as I said, I don't know.
Age is not a
something-
bother for you.
Well,
In a
the
sense.
older perspective, I like the
Older, not younger.
No, not
Oh, so
younger.
forward,
I
not-
prefer the older one. So whether you're like from 8 years and above, 8 years old. But you mustn't be wrinkled up and them something there. If you're wrinkled,
But it
let's
comes
wrinkle
with
together.
age sash.
Let me say, if you're wrinkled, it must wrinkle together. So if you're 50 and wrinkling, well, I'm married, so my husband not start wrinkling yet, so we good.
Alright, so for me, definitely, age does not matter. Personally, I rather same age or older guy. But looking at things now from a wider perspective, age does not matter. What matter is how compatible you are, what are your values, how you see yourself
healthy.
working together, how healthy you are. What looking at the relationship, do you want children?
Right.
Who is younger, who is older, are you able to? So those are the things that I look at. The common grounds and what will work. If it will work to you, whether the man younger, older, you decide. Whether the woman younger, older, look at it and decide. That's it.
For me, use your value system to guide your life. That's always safe, right? So age may not matter depending on the compatibility, depending on your values,
What you're
depending on
looking
your
for.
goals, what you are looking for, what works for you. Society does not have to dictate what your moves are, do you?
Well, since I've been young, my first
Now I'm
boyfriend
old.
was 4 years older than I was, the first one. And then as we progressed in age, so did the gap. However,
This girl,
I'm just saying that I just want to share their sentiments because that for me came as a result of how I was cultured, how I was grown, my values, who I grew up around, my grandparents, stuff like that. I realized that I was better able to communicate and relate to persons of the older age group.
That's
Not
right.
just males, but all my friends are
Older.
well, majority of my friends are older than I am.
True.
By a lot. So
She love big things.
yes, it's true. I'm usually the youngest one. So it's not just for relationship, but it's because of how I relate to them, how we converse, how we act
Also.
around everybody. So it's good for me. So
Are.
age really doesn't matter if your alignments are
Aligning.
Kesha, take it away.
All right. Well, for me, my takeaway from today's episode is that at the end of the day, you're the person who's in the relationship. Do not allow persons to dictate what is normal for you or what is acceptable. Because at the end of the day, you know what you want and you know what you're looking for. And before we close off today's episode, we just want to do a quick shout out to some of our regular persons who support us, who will leave a comment, who will drip you up through the comment section, whatever the case may be. I want to shout out to my students, who are always watching, and to T.N. Robinson. Big up yourself, Robidan.
Of course, and Jamelia Brown all the way. Where should I? China or Japan?
Cuba.
Same thing there, Jamelia all the way in Cuba. Hola!
that's our
Thank
girl.
you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and commenting. Share the link though.
Share.
Shout out to my students, Torian, Marian, Shalia, those who are always commenting. Keep it going.
That's
Remember
right.
to like, share, subscribe, share the things them on the status too. Greg Bailey, Maxine,
Yeah,
Lodge, Life with Pepper, I will leave on him, but we'll continue.
Troy Hibbert, big up yourself.
Yes.
well. Miller X the Millennial on Instagram,
Yeah.
Laney Mommy27 on Instagram, and Tamarly Hutchinson on YouTube. I see you guys every week. You've commented, you've supported, you've shared your views, and I'm sure you're sharing the link.
Of
Keep
course.
on doing the do.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Goodbye.